The all-new 4th generation of the most popular midsize pickup on the US market has been presented, and it'll hit showrooms by the end of this year. Compared to the 3rd generation, changes are significant. The new truck looks way better than before, but there are also some unexpected drawbacks. So without further ado, let's take a look at the 2024 Toyota Tacoma and check the pros that'll surprise you and the cons you can't ignore. Pros. Of course, we'll start with the good things, and for that purpose, we've selected the 5 biggest improvements over the previous generation. Let's start with a countdown. Number 5. Capable powertrain options. The outgoing generation has been criticized a lot for its underpowered engines. The base 159 horsepower inline-4 is anything but relevant on today's pickup market, while the optional V6 never had enough torque to catch up with rivals. Well, the good news is that the new Tacoma will be anything but slow. It'll come with 3 powertrain options, and all of them will be very capable. Base models will feature a 2.4-liter Turbo 4 with a max output of 228 horsepower and 243 pound-feet of torque. That's pretty decent for an entry-level version and a significant power and torque increase over the old naturally aspirated inline-4. The same engine will be available in a more powerful version with 278 horsepower, just like the old V6. However, it will bring a significant 52 pound-feet torque boost, which will be available at much lower RPMs, so driving dynamics are expected to be significantly better. Finally, there's the all-new hybrid powertrain, also based on the Turbo 4 engine. That setup will offer a pretty impressive max output of 326 horsepower, the second most powerful in its class, behind the upcoming Ranger Raptor. However, it'll be second to none when it comes to max torque, which will go all the way up to 465 pound-feet, which is even more than what the Gladiator's 3-liter V6 EcoDiesel delivers. Another big thing is that the problematic 6-speed automatic will be gone and replaced with a new 8-speed unit. Models like the TRD Sport and TRD Off-Road will once again be available with a 6-speed manual. Number 4. New suspension setup, improved ride quality. The recent presentation of the next generation Tacoma has taught us about many significant improvements over the old model. Of course, there's the new platform with the reinforced chassis, but the thing we probably liked most was the new suspension setup. Most versions of the new Tacoma will no longer feature leaf springs, but rather a way more advanced multi-link independent rear suspension. We can only imagine the level of improvement in terms of ride quality. Considering that most rivals still rely on leaf springs, the new Tacoma should be among the class leaders in this aspect. Besides the new suspension, the 2024 Tacoma is finally getting modern-day brakes on the rear end, as the super rudimental drums are finally getting replaced with discs. All this, along with improved chassis rigidity, should have a big impact on the ride quality, which hasn't been the Tacoma's strongest point so far. This completely changes the game and puts Toyota's pickup ahead of its rivals. Number 3. Multiple cab and bed configurations. Midsize pickups are way better than they used to be just a few years ago, whether it's about build quality, driving experience, or overall performance. However, there is one trend we don't really like, and that's a simplified offer of body styles and cargo beds. Just look at the recently redesigned Chevy Colorado, which is now available only as a crew cab pickup with a short bed. Ford is bringing the new Ranger in a crew cab layout, while the extended cab model, which is available in Australia, is still uncertain for the US market. Finally, the Gladiator has never been available in anything but a crew cab layout. The moment Toyota announced that the new Tacoma won't follow this trend, we felt a big relief. This pickup will continue in various configurations, including 2 cab styles. The most basic trim levels will still be available in what Toyota calls an extra cab, which is essentially a 2-door extended cab style. Of course, the crew cab model will be available across the whole range. Also, 2 bed lengths will be offered, and what we particularly like is that the longer 6-foot unit won't be reserved only for the extended cab model. It'll be available with a crew cab model as well, which is great. Number 2. High-quality interior. Another thing that impressed us at the recent premiere is the new cabin design. It's easy to notice a significant improvement over the previous generation, which never looked too inspiring. It was rather functional than attractive, but that won't be the case anymore. The new 2024 Toyota Tacoma features one of the nicest cabins in the class. You can see a lot of the Tundra's influence, especially when it comes to the dashboard design. The new Tacoma also features that boxy design and features way better materials than before. Even the optional 14-inch infotainment screen comes directly from the Tundra, with the same Texas-developed interface. Upper trim levels will be full of exclusive features, not just in terms of materials. For example, one of the biggest highlights will be the new seats in the TRD Pro model. These so-called isodynamic performance seats use air-over-oil shock technology to minimize body movement. This means that your body won't bounce around the cabin anymore. Even on the toughest terrains, you'll be able to retain your head, neck, and spine aligned, which is great for injury prevention and has a very positive effect on fatigue. Number 1. 4 off-road models. The 2024 Toyota Tacoma brings 2 more off-road versions of the pickup, so there will be 4 of them in total. Besides the familiar names such as the TRD Off-Road and TRD Pro, the Japanese manufacturer also introduced the new entry-level off-roader with the familiar moniker called the TRD Pre-Runner. That model will be a pretty basic version of the pickup with enhanced off-road potential thanks to the rear locker and a few more upgrades. Interestingly, it'll be sold exclusively in the extra cab layout. The biggest novelty is definitely the new Trail Hunter, which will share the range topping position in the lineup with the TRD Pro. It'll be a different kind of off-roader with more focus on rock crawling and with a full load of off-road equipment and accessories. It is a genuine overlanding pickup with things like Old Man Emu shocks, bed and roof racks, and many other accessories provided by ARB. Both TRD Off-Road and TRD Pro come with important upgrades, including new shocks, and will be way more capable than before. Cons. We understand that the new 2024 Tacoma is yet to hit the market and that it doesn't make sense to talk about drawbacks at this point. However, we have managed to find 3 potential issues of the new pickup which could end up as downsides when compared to rivals. So let's take a look. Number 3. Lower towing capacity. The Tacoma has never been able to catch up with rivals when it comes to max towing capacity, but it was right behind, capable enough to be competitive. With the new model, things won't be drastically different, but the max settings will actually be lower compared to the previous generation, at least in some versions, and we don't like that trend. For example, the new TRD Pro will not be able to tow as much as the outgoing model due to the hybrid setup. Instead of 6,400 pounds, it'll be good for 6,000 pounds. The mitigating circumstance is that it'll still be on par with key competitors because models like the Chevy Colorado ZR2 and Jeep Gladiator Rubicon are also good for about 6,000 pounds, while the new Ranger Raptor will feature a slightly lower max towing rating. As for the standard versions, the outgoing Tacoma is good for about 6,800 pounds. The new model, equipped with the 2.4-liter Turbo 4, is expected to tow up to 300 pounds less, while the hybrid will be rated at 6,000 pounds as we already mentioned. Number 2. Some rivals will still be more off-road capable. The new TRD Pro and the rest of the off-road lineup looks impressive, and we can hardly call that a drawback. However, the fact is that some rivals will still remain better off-roaders. For example, all 3 American rivals, the Gladiator Rubicon, Chevy Colorado ZR2, and Ford Ranger Raptor, feature the front locker, which is something the Tacoma does not have. The Gladiator offers a superior approach and departure angle, while the Tacoma also lags behind the Raptor and ZR2 when it comes to breakover angle. Another thing that the Tacoma lacks is the LT designation on its tires, though it comes standard with 33-inch units, just like the competition. Still, this doesn't change the fact that the new TRD Pro will be an amazing off-roader and that it'll have a couple of big advantages over the competition, especially in terms of the powertrain and seats. Unfortunately, it could easily be more expensive than the ZR2 and Rubicon. Number 1. Price increase. Considering the global trend, the price of the next generation Tacoma will have to go up, and we're pretty sure that the most basic versions will cost over $30,000. For comparison, the current model starts with a little bit over $28,000, and many variants will probably cost more than their comparable rivals, including the aforementioned off-road models. We already talked about the TRD Pro, which will probably cost over $55,000, which is more than what the ZR2 and Rubicon cost. The new Trail Hunter should be similarly priced as the TRD Pro. Thanks for watching and see you next time.